Hi folks, it's Dr. Rowe here. I suspect that this is lagging, and that's because I have all my equipment set up because I'm presenting live this weekend. So I am speaking slowly because my mouth and my words and the video may not be in synchronicity. If that's the case, I apologize, but do listen. I'll keep this brief. Yes, I can definitely see there's a lag. Oh my gosh. Look, if you are a property investor and you're watching this and you follow some of what I do here, I want to point out something, and that is that we are in a time in history that is unique and yet is similar to where we've been before. So I sat through the last 2008-2010 recession, and I can tell you the concept of lease options exploded into the marketplace. It was already around, but it exploded in the sense that it was desperately needed. A lease option is the right to buy a property at some point in the future. Now, with property prices likely to dip at some point into next year due to recession, due to COVID, due to lockdown, due to the government's incentives being stopped in April, i.e. stamp duty, we're going to see people that are forced due to their circumstances losing their jobs to may have to move back in with their parents, or parents that may need to move in with their kids, for example, and they need to let their houses go. So with a lease option strategy, you have the opportunity to help them out to potentially look after their mortgage and pick the property up at some point in the future. Now, a few caveats on this. Again, you may not be aware of this model, but it's very powerful because it means you don't have to buy the property. You have the right to own it in the future. That means you don't have to put stamp duty down. You don't have to put your deposit money down. You're reducing your entry costs, but still winning by generating an income. Because the objective here, if done properly with the right contracts, would enable you to control that asset under an agreement and rent it out for more than you're paying the mortgage, and hence you keep the net difference, which is a cash flow. Ownership of a contract, not of a property. So make sure that when you're talking to the person, it's a win-win situation. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, number two is listen. Ask them questions and listen. What's their pain? What are the key indicators they're telling you that are causing them distress? If somebody desperately needs to move fast, they're worried about not being able to sustainably pay the mortgage, and they're happy to move back with their kids, but they don't want to necessarily sell the house now because the market price isn't right. You could offer them a price that works for them and works for you in the future. But as I've put there on number three, is it needs to be a long option, not a short option. This is not going to be a recession that kicks back out in the next year or two. We could be looking at a 4 or 5 year crawl back, maybe even longer, depending on how compounding COVID is on the overall economic situation, which is bad enough as it is. So if you had a 7-year or a 10-year option, it gives you the flexibility. It allows the market to take its dip and then come back out the other side, so that you might agree a price here, goes down and then comes back up somewhere here, and you buy here at a higher price. You've got to give, where's my sand? You've got to give the sands of time, enough time for the property prices to rebalance and come back out the other end. So that's the principle of an option. As long as you make it a win-win, everybody wins. Don't make it, I'll screw you over, but I'm going to win here. It needs to be fair on both parties. Now you then go and you would rent that property out to somebody else and generate an income from that, because you're paying X out here and you're receiving X plus Y over here. That's the principle. Why am I doing this video? Because with all the announcements, we're coming into Christmas, furloughs coming to an end, recession's biting, COVID round 2, how many rounds are we going to go? Get ready. Start thinking as a property investor, how can I do it? I mean, I'm teaching this weekend. I will be covering lease options with my audience tomorrow, and I'll be saying to them, learn to do this properly, get the right contracts, get the right lawyers, get the right team around you. You've got a great opportunity here. All right, got to get back to my audience. Dr. Rose signing out. Have a great Saturday, and I apologize about the about the lag. Take care.